My name is Jermell Charlo. They call me the Iron Man.
Here it comes.
Tonight, I'm going for my 33rd win in 34 fights. I want to put Tony to sleep. I am the best junior middleweight in the world.
Jermell Charlo, first thing out of his mouth when we spoke to him this week, hey, I'm walking first. So Lennox Lewis, he knows the difference. He is the challenger in this fight. And as you pointed out, level of aggression should even be higher.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he wants this fight so bad. Nobody likes to lose their title. And then when you lose your title, it's like you have an urge to get it back. And it's like you want to sacrifice whatever you need to do. And what he did was really get in camp, get more serious. And now you can expect a better Charlo coming in the ring because he's worked hard and he's focused.
Jermell Charlo and his twin brother, Jermall Charlo, again, rising stars in the sport. Jermall is still unbeaten. He's moved up to middleweight. Jermell is here at 154 pounds. He was stunned by that decision. To that point, it was a very close fight. Lost a lot of those early rounds that were close. He won rounds, Joe, emphatically late. He'll have to get on that course earlier tonight.
Yeah, look, I think both of these guys, there's a sense of urgency within both camps here. I think both camps feel they both have to raise their game from the last fight. And I think they're going to start out quick. I don't think there's going to be a feeling out, too long of a feeling out process in this fight. I'm really excited about it. It's like there's been a lot of talk for a year now, and we're finally at the moment, and this is it right now, and I can't wait.
Jermell Charlo is in the ring as the challenger, and the champion is on the way.
My name is Tony Harrison. SOS, they call your boy Superbad. Going for my 22nd knockout, Detroit style. Who was born for nights like this. No more talking. Saturday night it's on, Detroit style, baby.
More than 80s. Yeah, milligrams. Bitch, I'm still a man. We slaying Rock Nation, yeah. Jiggle. And I'm plugged on the border. Send them through. We gon' get them gone. Little cuz gon' work the ride. I had to send him home. I'm doing 45 a day, and that's on any phone. Dog. Young, get 50, we on all blues. Go catch a next pass. Yeah, I'm a Hoover, baby. And I dropped out of school. I was too connected. I just spent my afro. You can do the next one. No, these ain't triple S's.
You can tell Tony Harrison does not mind being the villain. Greeted with some cheers as he enters the arena tonight, but he knows he is the champ. He is proud of that. Harrison was stopped by Jarrett Hurd in 2017. He then had a split decision win over a 39-year-old Ishe Smith, so not much was expected of him when he challenged Charlo for his title a year ago. But he surprised the world, again, winning close rounds early in what was, you guys described it, a cautious fight. We're expecting a lot more activity from both after a year filled with bitterness.
And Harrison acknowledges, he says, no, I know my, what I did in the last fight wasn't as much as I'm going to have to do in this fight. So he acknowledges it, and so does Charlo. Charlo says he's going to step up his game, throw more punches, put more pressure on. So I say that both these guys they have a realization of what they really have to do.
The tension has built up for a full calendar year. Tony Harrison defending his title tonight against Jermell Charlo. Obviously in top shape, a very serious young man, a chance to reclaim what he lost 1 year ago. Let's go to the ring and Jimmy Lennon Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Toyota Arena here in Ontario, California, Premier Boxing Champions presents the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Lions Only Promotions and TGB Promotions, and sponsored by MGM Resorts and Brooklyn Boxing. This bout is sanctioned by the WBC, the president Mauricio Sulaiman, and our judges, Tim Cheatham, Dr. Lou Moret, and David Sutherland. All right, fight fans, here we go with the bout you've all been waiting for. A rematch, scheduled 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Super Welterweight Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from Ontario, California, it's time for the main event of the evening. Introducing to you first the challenger, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trunks with green and orange trim, hailing from Houston, Texas. He weighed in at a ready 153 1/2 pounds. With an outstanding record of 32 wins and only 1 defeat, he has 16 wins coming by way of knockout. Currently a top world contender, making his 6th world title appearance. Tonight, seeking to avenge his only loss and regain the title. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former WBC Super Welterweight Champion of the World, Jermell Iron Man Charlo. And his opponent across the ring is the defending world champion, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing blue trunks with gray trim. He is fighting out of it representing Detroit, Michigan, and he weighed in at 153 1/4 pounds. With a record of 28 wins and 2 losses, he has 21 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, making the first defense of his title, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the reigning and defending WBC Super Welterweight Champion of the World, Tony Superbad Harrison. And here's our referee in charge, now to give instructions, Jack Reese.
No, right here, please. Right here on this side, looking this way. Thank you very much. Good, no good, we're good. Tony, right here, please. Tony, right here, please. Facing me, facing me. Mouthpiece. Mouthpiece, please. Put it in. Mouthpiece. Okay. Senior, his trunks are high. Everything below here, it's not going to matter. It's going to come right up. Everything below here is no good. Everything above, so I'm going to let him work in here. These are good. I gave you both instructions. I want to remind you to please listen and follow my requests at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Fight hard, but fight clean. Good luck.
Boy, neither guy could even look at each other at that point. And Tony Harrison taking his good, sweet time getting to the middle of the ring. Charlo is the favorite here, even after losing his title. You'd have to bet $275 on Jermell Charlo to win 100. Betting $100 on Tony Harrison would get you $200. That from Fox Bet. And we're ready to go. Main event, both with a chip on their shoulder 1 year later. And we're underway. WBC 154-pound championship, and Jermell Charlo comes out winging a hook and misses.
See, and he's coming out exactly like he said he was. He put his head down, he took a step in, and he whipped the hook just like that. Now, Tony Harrison is going to lean on his neck, lean on his back, and try to stop that somehow. But it looks like Charlo's determined to get inside somehow and get close to Tony, and Tony's going to have to use that jab.
And there is Harrison with the jab. He's got a good, long, straight jab. I was going to ask you that too, Joe. Brian Kenny with Lennox Lewis and Joe Goose at ringside. Main event here. Is it in Harrison's best interest to pick up the pace, since he does fight very well being selective?
Well, look, as long as he's being accurate and effective. You know, it's one thing to throw punches and one thing to throw punches just, you know, because people expect you to throw more punches. You throw them when you have to, and when they're effective, and when you need to. And I think that's what ultimately Harrison's going to do tonight. He's a smart fighter. He's not going to become an irrational fighter just because people want him to throw more punches.
Right. Harrison there leading with the jab, but Lennox, we saw in the first fight, he's very effective with a counter jab, waiting for something to happen, and he has a quick answer.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is a boxer, puncher, mover, and you know, why mix it up when you don't have to? You know, all his advantages is from the outside, so he should use that.
And he just illustrated that there.
Yeah, I mean, throwing good shots, snappy jabs. This is what he's supposed to do.
He's able to answer. He waits for a punch to come out, and then he pops a shot. And I tell you what, that helped him with the judges the first time around. It's very visible when you end an exchange with a jab to the head.
Yeah. Well, it's about being first. You know, after an exchange, you still come out of the exchange and you be first again. And he's first with that jab all the time.
Charlo took out his frustration after the postponement in June. Beat Jorge Cota with a third-round stoppage, 2 spectacular right hands to end that fight. And he, again, called Harrison a fraud for bowing out of that fight with an ankle injury. Seemed a bit harsh, Joe, didn't it?
Well, you know, that, you know, may be well true, but right now, you know, the important thing is what's going on in the ring here. And Charlo is kind of stalling a little bit. I thought he would be picking up that pace in the first round, and he's allowing Harrison just to kind of set up here and do something like that, get a shot off. He should be trying to knock the chest pieces off, like we said, and upset the apple cart and get inside with some head movement and pressure and fast feet, and he's not doing it right now.
And Harrison has been able to already here in round 1, after Charlo came out firing, to kind of, as they say, take the air out of the ball, slow things down.
That's right.
So it's tactical already, strategic, and a right hand lands. Not a very hard right hand, but it landed a scoring shot by Harrison. So once again, much like the first fight, these could be close rounds, but if Harrison is winning rounds close, he can pile them up and get a win and defend his title. Final seconds, round number 1. There are the Charlo twins, Jermell and Jermall, growing up, excellent athletes. And there is Jermell Charlo watching his brother. He just comes off a knockout win over Dennis Hogan. That's a nice win. He's 30-0, and he's moved up to middleweight, clearing the path at junior middleweight for his brother Jermell. First round, interesting, tactical once again. Tony Harrison seemingly doing enough. And Harrison here, opening things up in the blue trunks. Charlo in the black with orange fringe and orange hair to boot. Jack Reese with the warning.
Yeah, you can see Charlo is meaning business. He's so serious right now. I was expecting him to come out a lot harder, but he's shown a lot of patience, which is good. I think he's going to mount his attack at certain times. He's just warming up and taking his time right now and trying to look at the open and see where he can get in.
And that jab seems to be the dominant factor so far early in this fight. It's obviously very early, but already Tony Harrison able to earn respect from Charlo and keep him at a bit of a distance. And there's a good left and right hand from Harrison.
It was a great straight right hand, but that's what Charlo is going to get if he stays on the outside with the chess player. Harrison's got a long reach, he's got a fast right hand and a great jab. Again, Charlo was doing the right thing at the beginning of the round. He's going to have to take chances to get in close to Harrison to get anything done. Harrison's going to grab him like that, but that doesn't look well either to the judges.
And again, he's got to show some patience as well. He's throwing big winging shots, hyper-aggressive, but so far, Harrison's able to see it coming.
Yeah. Charlo cannot get wild right now. He's got to keep his composure.
Charlo landed a nice wild right hand and another punch just like that one. See, he's got
but he can get
nasty. Lennox.
Yeah, but he can get caught coming in.
Well, yeah, exactly. But you got to take chances. And we asked him, are you willing to take those chances? You know.
So you like him winging those shots. There's a hard shot. Both men firing at the same time.
He's got to make it dirty.
I think it's too early to wing shots.
Well, you know what? You know. No time like the present, as far as I'm concerned, you know.
Well, it's an interesting point. You wonder if Charlo will able to get into a good rhythm. Good body shot by Charlo, that landed. Again, sometimes you can get out of your game, not get in a rhythm early on. Again, WBC world title at 154 pounds. If I say junior middle, I also mean super welter. You know what I mean?
And Charlo looks like he's got a cut. I'm not sure. The referee just pointed to his head.
No.
Yeah, they did have a clash of heads earlier. It looks small. It's not bleeding much, but Lennox, you're right. It's just a small abrasion.
Oh!
Down he goes! Charlo puts Harrison down.
This is what I was talking about right there, Brian. He's got to get
He did it when Harrison was trying to get out of the way.
did that because he was close enough to do it. If you stay too far away, you won't have that opportunity.
Charlo gets a knockdown here in the early going just before the end of the round, and he makes his statement in trying to reclaim his title. It seemed like Harrison was, to your point, Lennox, a bit off balance, but it was Charlo who put him down with a punch.
Yeah, he was basically backing out.
It was right on the chin.
And they were actually punching together. Both guys were punching at the same time.
Charlo got hit with 2 short right hands right there. And like I said, you're going to have to take chances. Are you willing to get hit coming in just like that? He got hit 2 right hands, but that's what he got from it, see? Because he got in close enough to counter, and he hit him with that good left hook or right hand. Tony Harrison should be on the outside boxing and moving and being the mad professor boxer tonight. This is not going to serve him well by sitting there doing this at all with Charlo.
The grazing right hand there. You can see Charlo now is finally fired up. He looked like he was just about to start getting frustrated. Put a big hook, grazing right hand, makes it a 10-8 round in round 2 as Charlo is able to establish his championship presence. Let's see how Tony Harrison answers. He's the champ now, round 3. Here at 154 pounds, title is on the line, and already Charlo winging shots. Aggressive Harrison ducking out of the way.
It has to be controlled aggression. He can't leave himself wide open like that.
Just missed with the hook. Firing shots, and Harrison is on the ropes. This is a danger zone, fellas.
Yeah, what Charlo should be doing when he's, instead of winging the shots to the head, he should be hitting the arms, the body, before he goes to the head. And Harrison, of course, to his credit, did really well defensively on the ropes right there.
Look at that shot landed again by Charlo. Charlo's able to land with a little more regularity. Harrison tries to fire back. And Joe, to your point, if Harrison's going to stay on the ropes, this could be an early night. Charlo is obviously determined, fired up. Look at the punches landed in round 3. 11-2 for Jermell Charlo.
Harrison's regained his composure, and he's looking to land something himself, and he's actually backing Charlo up, which I think is a mistake for Charlo to back up 1 step.
Harrison throws straight punches, and Charlo throws, looping punches. And whichever one, if they throw at the same time, Harrison will get through with his punches a lot cleaner.
Harrison able to land right hands and an uppercut as well.
And Charlo came back with a nice little left uppercut himself.
We could have a fascinating championship fight here. Already 1 knockdown in round 2. Hook lands by Harrison, one of the last Kronk fighters on the international scene. That right hand lands, and it looks like Charlo's mouthpiece has popped out. Yep. Harrison able to take that mouthpiece right out. Charlo fires back.
Jack Reese will wait to put that mouthpiece back until the action stops right there. And it looks like it's Harrison's.
Oh, that was Harrison's that came out. How about that?
And Harrison's got some blood coming out of his nose right now, probably from that left uppercut he got hit with.
Right hand and fire. I thought it was Harrison that landed as the mouthpiece popped out. How did it come out of Harrison's mouth?
Yeah, Charlo needs to keep that left hand up because Harrison's still dangerous with that right hand, and they're coming across straight.
Let's watch this again, and you'll see the mouthpiece come out. Look, right hand lands, and he just spits it out.
Yeah, it just came out from inertia. That's it, basically. I've seen that happen.
Interesting.
It was actually it was part of his breathing. When he's throwing the shot, he's breathing at the same time, that's what pushed it out.
Good body shots by Harrison, strafing left hand there to the body of Charlo.
Yeah, and look at him. He's backing Charlo up now. This is a real reversal of tactics.
Yeah, this is fascinating already. Look at Harrison fire back, head, and then body.
He's really going to
Detroit is getting after it.
Really going to the body well. He landed 2 great shots, one on the belt line and one around the elbow. And he's sitting in the pit right now.
Lands a hook as well. Tony Harrison showing his championship pedigree. Firing back, was put on the deck, but fires back in round 3.
Here's some action from Charlo. He's threw that double hook right hand, back with another hook in the right hand. That was a 5, 6, 7 punch combination. 2 uppercuts, and that's what did the nose in.
And you see Harrison coming back with a left and a right and a body punch. Straight punches, straight to the target, very accurate.
Brian Kenny, Lennox Lewis, Joe Goosen, along with Heidi Androl here, ringside. round number 4. It's been fascinating so far as Tony Harrison able to keep his composure. Let's go to Heidi Androl now in the corner.
Thank you very much, Ali. What adjustments do you want Tony Harrison to make as we start this 4th round?
Well, he doesn't necessarily have to make any adjustments. He just got to continue doing what he's doing. I need him to finish with more than 2 punches. He's throwing a beautiful right hand, but he's leaving the hook off the right hand. So I need him to throw 3 or more punches and then get him in front of him. He's doing exactly what we want him to do now. Backing him up, putting pressure on him now. There you go. There you go. There it is.
All right, thanks so much, Ali. Brian, we'll send it back to you.
Heidi, thank you. That's Tony Harrison's father, Ali Salam El. As Harrison was able again to regain his composure, reestablish himself in this fight, because it is not easy. Charlo is really bringing some weight. And that last round, again, according to our unofficial judge, Marcos Villegas, he gives it to Tony Harrison, who's now up 2 rounds to 1, but again, with the knockdown, obviously, a 10-8 round in the second. Harrison would like to make this a tactical battle. Charlo would like to make it a war. And so far, we've seen success on both sides, Lennox.
Yeah, we have. You know, Charlo's is coming ahead. Like I said, you know, he's got to straighten up his punches a little bit. Or if he's going to get wild, let him get wild against the ropes with Harrison, putting Harrison up against the ropes so Harrison can escape.
Jermell Charlo throwing a career-high 89 punches in that 3rd round. Punches landed in favor of Jermell Charlo. Again, and that's a good hard hook from Charlo. And a right hand to the body. Harrison back with a hook. 2 hooks. And there you see right there, Charlo with a big advantage in the 4th round. There is hard-hitting action going on right now.
This is really, really 5-star quality boxing and punching in here right now. There's a great counter punch by Charlo, but Harrison's been taking the action to him, landing good body shots off touches to the head. He'll go back downstairs quickly, and he's chosen to walk down Charlo, which is an amazing thing. I don't think we would have thought that. And he even said he wasn't going to do it, but here he is, backing Charlo up, landing little uppercuts, little shots to the body, right hand there, and then the occasional counter from Charlo like that. I think
Charlo
Charlo's
able
making
to fire
a mistake.
back. And Joe, to what you were saying, we expected a fight like the first fight, but en plus, a lot more, and we're seeing that at just a higher level of aggression. Charlo now firing back with the combination. Final seconds, round 4, hard-hitting title fight. Part of the controversy a year ago was that Jermell Charlo outlanded Tony Harrison. A lot of people thought he won that fight, but CompuBox had a good read on this, pointing out that Charlo, while he outlanded Tony Harrison, he was within 5 punches of him in 9 of the 12 rounds. Again, not all punches are created equally, and the judging came out in favor of Tony Harrison, again 7-5 or 8-4. Depending on which judge you went to, but it was a unanimous decision. Tony Harrison became the champ, but here it is all on the line, and it's been a fascinating back and forth so far in terms of style and aggression between these two.
A much different fight from Tony Harrison, as he promised. Now, he said he'd probably box a little bit more, but he said in sparring, he was sitting in the pocket all the time, and he said, I do well when I spar, but sometimes when I get in the fight, I decide to move backwards.
Let's go to Heidi Androl right now in the corner with Derek James for Jermell Charlo.
Thank you very much, Brian. Derek, we've seen a very aggressive Jermell Charlo thus far, taking some risks. What would you like to see from him here going forward?
A little bit more jab, a little bit more movement, a little bit more stepping around, which he's going to start to do it. You know, Tony's trying to mix it up, you know, trying to do a little counter punch, but he's doing really well, but more jab and more movement over it.
Excellent. Thanks, Derek. Brian, back to you.
All right, Heidi, thank you. Good body work there by Charlo. Again, in that first fight, Charlo was at times really just showing off his defense, had beautiful head movement throughout, thought he was aggressive enough, but this is a very different fight.
Yeah, Charlo was able to land those body shots. He actually turned southpaw on the inside, just like that right there, and he came out with a left hook and a right hand to the body. But again, I'm surprised, and I'm not too sure I agree with what the corner's telling Charlo to back up. It just seems like if you give Harrison a chance to walk you down like this, he's going to put his hands on you and score points, and I think that's what he's doing.
Well, part of the reason he's probably doing that is, you know, probably trying to get Harrison to open up a little bit, throw some shots, so that Charlo can throw some punches within there.
What got Harrison to open up was when Charlo put the pressure on and made him open up. So you got to make him open up, not hope he opens up for you here. I just don't think he's going to open up.
Right hand partially blocked there by Harrison. But to your point, Harrison, if this fight is fought at distance, you got to figure in favor of Tony Harrison. He lands the right hand.
Well, right now, this round is favoring Tony Harrison, and he's not boxing.
You got to your point, Joe. Tony Harrison wants chess. He doesn't want to brawl. He wants to stand, not trade.
He's getting away with walking down Charlo right now. He's getting away with it.
Uppercut's landing by Harrison.
So, in other words, I'm saying if he was forced to box, he could do that.
Yeah,
well, he's not even being forced to box right now.
Harrison's the sharper boxer inside right now, especially when it comes to close quarters. You know, he's throwing good body punches, good left hooks, and good uppercuts.
I agree, because Charlo's not making it rough. He's sitting there, and he's getting out-hustled on the inside right now.
And with all those times, you're getting those 2 body shots landed right there. Those scoring shots, and it could be another round in the books. Could be. We're not sure. We don't know. We never know. But you think it could go in another round. There's a good right hand. Another round could go to Harrison, much like a year ago in Brooklyn. Final 20 seconds of the 5th round. One knockdown in this fight already. A big hook and then a grazing right hand from Charlo in the 2nd round. Harrison has come back nicely and is boxing beautifully. Controlled aggression by the champion. But if you're wondering what Jermell Charlo has to say, let's go to Heidi Androl again. Heidi?
Thank you very much. Here with a man with a very vested interest here. I know I've seen you watching every round by round. What have you seen from your brother, and what does he need to do more of?
I see good patience. You know, I just think he needs to get a little bit more aggressive on the outside, but he's doing good right now.
Was the game plan for him to come out here and be a little bit more patient?
It's to be patient, but be aggressive and land the right shots, and he's doing good.
He's definitely being aggressive. What did you say to your brother? I saw you backstage in the locker room with him before the fight.
I told him he got to take it to him. He got to take his heart. This dude got a lot of confidence, but he don't know what he's into. So we'll see tonight.
I know you're coming off of a great win. When will we see you back in action?
We should be in May.
All right, looking forward to it. As always, thank you very much, Jermell Charlo. Guys, we'll send it back to you, Brian.
Heidi, thank you. Jermell again off a knockout win against a pretty tough guy, Dennis Hogan. He stays unbeaten. Jermell Charlo back in it here, and I wonder, is he winning rounds beyond the round that he got the knockdown?
Well, that's yet to be decided. But I want to get to what Jermell said. Jermell said he's got to be aggressive, okay, and take the attack to him. He's not doing that right now.
Hey, now Marcos Villegas, our unofficial judge, has all 3 or 4 rounds not with a knockdown going the way of Harrison. Marcos, what do you think so far?
Nice little showboating there from Harrison. He's been blocking a lot of these punches. I have him up 48 to 46 because of the work that he's doing on the inside. He's doing excellent work scoring to the top and, more importantly, to the body. And these aren't just regular body shots. These are digging hooks to the body that are catching my attention.
Marcos, thank you. Marcos Villegas, again, our unofficial judge, just to give us an indication of how judges could be scoring this fight. And here's the showboating for Harrison.
Well, yeah, and right there, I would have just jumped right on him.
Right.
You know, if on the party, but Jermell actually backed off for a second. You know.
Yeah, that does not do anything for the judges. I don't think it's even doing much to infuriate Charlo. But back to the actual boxing, which is the basic point of this whole night. You could make a case that beyond that knockdown in the 2nd round, Tony Harrison could be winning every other round. And that's the way Marcos Villegas has it right now.
Yeah, that's not unreasonable to think that.
Good exchange there by Harrison on the inside. Charlo firing back. Good body shot with the right hand by Harrison.
Tony Harrison is keeping his hands up real nice.
Real tight.
The closer he gets, the more he closes off the middle for the uppercut, and he closes off the right hand and left hook by his hands keeping up near his chin. So he's being smart.
But now Charlo gets on the inside, and if they're winging shots, it could favor Charlo.
Yeah, I don't think Charlo should back up. He needs to push the action forward. He needs to be throwing a lot more punches, a lot more combination punches.
Harrison is landing as well, landing those body shots.
Right, he also landed a few seconds ago, nice little right uppercut, left uppercut to the chin too. Real subtle stuff on the inside, like that little right uppercut.
And a right hand to answer, to punctuate. Charlo firing back as well, throwing combinations as the fight is now at close range.
He's throwing one or two at a time, and that ain't going to do it because Harrison's defense is so tight. A couple of shots from Charlo ain't really going to do anything.
Again, Harrison, one of the last fighters to be trained by Hall of Famer Emanuel Stewart. Toured through Europe when Emanuel Stewart had Vladimir Klitschko. So kind of the last of the Kronk fighters. That great era of 70s, 80s, and 90s. And he carries the flag now, and he's doing an outstanding job here trying to defend his title.
Two great body shots, too, right there, Brian. And Lennox, to your point, one thing's for sure, Harrison ain't fighting off his back foot in this fight, is he?
No, he's not.
Tony Harrison appears to be winning rounds. Charlo with the knockdown could be very close.
At Domino's.
Dominic Brazil there in the audience here in California, heavyweight contender. Just saw Mike McCallum there in the background, the body snatcher. Errol Spence says he wants to go in May. Welterweight champion could be ready in the spring or the summer. And speaking of Detroit royalty, there's the hitman, Tommy Hearns.
Yes, sir.
Seven-time world champion. I asked him how many champions. I said 3 or 4. He said I had 7 championships. He goes, that's all I wanted.
I mean, Hearns, an all-time great, obviously trained by Emanuel Stewart, as was Tony Harrison. And the Superbad nickname comes from one of Stewart's fighters in the 70s and 80s. And again, one of the all-time great gentlemen in the sport as well, the late Emanuel Stewart. Round 7, Tony Harrison, Jermell Charlo. Marcos Villegas gives round 6 to Tony Harrison as well. Again, this is just an indication of how the judges could be scoring this fight. And I would say, just to take a breath here for a second, this has been an outstanding answer from both men.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they've upped the ante. This is a better fight.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, Charlo needs to be really, when he's throwing his punches, he's got to look where he's placing his punches and make sure he's placing them around the hands of Harrison so his punches are scoring.
Well, Harrison's really becoming real comfortable just walking down Charlo right now with his hands up. He sees everything, and then he decides to do stuff like that.
Right, he's very calm as well, shoulders relaxed, firing off right hands, multiple combinations. Lands an uppercut there and able to move Charlo's head.
And see, the guy who's fighting the different fight tonight is Harrison. Okay?
And Charlo needs to be concerned because every time he gets out of a clinch or even an exchange, that's when Harrison is coming back and catching him while he's leaving the clinch or exchange.
By the way, that was a good combination. I just don't want to let that pass by Charlo, and I think he drew a little blood from the nose of Harrison as he whacks another hook off the head of Tony Harrison.
He's got to do that more often. He's got to actually shorten up his punches too. Good right hand by Harrison.
Another by Harrison as well, firing off the right hand. Shake of the head from Charlo saying he's not hurt, but they're landing. I think a lot of fans out there thought Jermell Charlo would come out here, bum rush Harrison, and take him out. It looked like that was a possibility in the second round, but every other round has not been that way.
And it seemed like that tactic was working, and he abandoned it right after the second round, which is surprising to me.
And Harrison needs to, Charlo needs to, if he wants to get a little bit more glory out of this round, he needs to put Harrison up against the ropes.
Charlo's saying, look, I want to be more aggressive. I want to win the fight round by round. He's not really heeding that advice. He could be letting rounds slip. That could be close. Now, again, you could be surprised, again, fellas, by the end, depending on what the judges have. Wild uppercut misses by Charlo. But we're just pointing out what a judge could be looking at.
Well, it doesn't look to me like Charlo's going to really outslick him on the inside, and certainly not on the outside. I think what's going to have to happen is Charlo's going to have to land a hurting shot, a shot that wobbles or puts Harrison down, because he's just getting outmaneuvered on the inside right now, and really the tactics that the tactics Harrison is using is really dominating on the inside.
I'll tell you, you're right. You see these subtle moves. There's right hands there, but a lot of uppercuts and hooks landing on Charlo. The champ looks good so far.
Number 8. Number 8.
Yeah, and here you see Charlo coming in with a good combination, 1, 2, 3. And this is what he needs to do, throw combination punches. And here's Tony coming back with a straight right. You know, straight punches always are better than roundhouse punches. Good body punch by Charlo right there. This is what he needs to do as well.
We're in round 8 already. World title fight at 154 pounds. And Tony Harrison seemingly putting some rounds in the bank. By the way, Charlo has thrown a career high in power shots, throwing, but he's landing only 28% of them. Tony Harrison much more accurate, according to CompuBox, landing 41% of his power shots.
And that's what's important, landing. Now, in terms of what happened with Harrison in the corner, I think his corner had it right. They said, look, you're putting all these rounds in the bank. He goes, keep pressuring them, keep walking them backwards. You know, so because you're winning the fight this way.
And he's able to win, seemingly, if we believe he's leading, at close range, Joe. I mean, I thought at least he'd have to be at range like this on the outside. That hasn't been the case.
I think we all thought that, and I think even Harrison himself, in all the fighter meetings we had, said the same thing. He was gonna have to be the chess player, the master chess master, and that Charlo was gonna have to be aggressive. And Charlo even agreed, I have to be aggressive. It's really been a role reversal tonight, but it's been a great fight nonetheless. And Charlo looks dangerous at all times anyway. One punch could turn this around.
It's a good point. He has been the jab as usual from Harrison. He's got a beautiful long jab, able to land it throughout the night. But you're right, Joe, to your point. Everything Charlo is throwing is serious. It's hard. He's already put him down. That was in round 2 with mainly a hook, and he's able to land another hook there.
See, that left hook should have been followed up with a quick right hand right over the top right there. At least, you know, make him defend on both sides of his head, not just one side.
See, Charlo's making a mistake right now in the sense of allowing Harrison to be first all the time. And Harrison's doing the right thing. Get that jab out there, be first, pile up the points.
Starting to feel it now, getting a little rhythm, able to fire off the jab and does a little dance. He has talked Detroit over the last few months, the build-up for this fight, saying, look, man, you can't scare me. We can talk trash back and forth, but I'm from Detroit. I've been through a lot. Pride is on the line, and so much on the line for his career as well. A win here solidifies his standing as a real champion.
Charlo's got to do more of that. He landed a right hand, a left hook to the body.
That was a hard right hand from Harrison. That was
yeah.
Fires off a right hand. That's one of the better shots of the fight. Charlo able to answer back with a jab. I wonder, the playing around in the ring, though,
yeah, I mean,
going to be leaving himself vulnerable.
I mean, he feels comfortable in there. I mean, he's doing what he wants to do, but, you know, you also have to be careful when you're doing that type of thing.
Keep it here between rounds. We're going to go into Tony Harrison's corner, and we'll be able to hear him and his father, Ali Salam El. Listen in right now. We'll go to the corner.
Okay, that's another good round. These are excellent rounds. You're still leaving my hook off on this side. You're landing a beautiful right hand. Straight flex. Right on the money, but you're leaving it by itself. Bring that hook behind it, okay? Bring the hook behind it, you get at least a knockdown out of this. I believe you get at least a knockdown out of this. Mike can stop him, because he's definitely tired, okay? You're doing a good job of staying in control, winning the rounds. This is 9 coming up, right? 9 coming up, yeah. Yep.
There is the beautiful right hand that Salam El mentioned.
Yeah, and here it is. Bam, right there on top of the head. But more importantly, what was being said in the corner, I think, was very important. His corner was telling him, I think you can hurt him. I think you can stop him. It was a beautiful right hand. You're winning these rounds. They're very confident in the corner, and well, they should be right now. It looks like Tony Harrison has been in control of this fight since after the second round.
Do you feel that Charlo's energy is ebbing somewhat?
No, I think he's in great shape. I think he's got energy to fight 20 rounds. It's just how he's fighting them.
Yeah, but you got to be affected by the body shots. You know, Harrison started the body shots from round 1. So, you know, now we're in the middle of rounds. Well, you know, he's got to have some effect.
You should be affected by every shot you get hit with, and I'm sure they both are. But the point is that's what you train for. That's why you do your calisthenics, your workout, so you can absorb that and keep on going. The bottom line is it's what type of fight is Charlo fighting? He's not fighting this fight that he said he was going to fight, that I expected him to fight, and probably that Harrison expected him to fight.
I mean, I agree with you. He needs to be a little more aggressive, a lot more aggressive. A lot more aggressive. He's got to be first. He can't be waiting for Harrison, because if he's waiting for Harrison, all Harrison's going to do is throw that jab. Throw that jab and throw that right hand. And why wait for a guy to throw a jab and a right hand? You got to be first. You got to be throwing your jab, right hand, hooks, and body punches.
You know what? All these things can be true. Let's go to Marcos Villegas. Marcus, sum it up for us. How are you scoring it?
I have it 76-75. I felt the last 2 rounds, Charlo kind of picked up the volume of his punches, just landing a little bit more. Tony, like I mentioned earlier in the fight, doing a good job of blocking a lot of these punches. A lot of these punches aren't landing flush that Charlo is throwing. But for the last 2 rounds, I've liked the work that Charlo's put in so far, and it's tightened up the fight.
I'm a little surprised he gave the last 2 rounds to Charlo. Do we agree with that? Disagree, fellas?
Yeah, especially the last round. I mean, look, the corner is not stupid over there. They thought they won the round handily. And Marcos may be right.
I think that's the bottom line, is that Marcos saw it one way. We could disagree. The 3 judges could all reasonably have it either way.
But, you know, we're talking about guys that have been, you know, intimately aware of who they've got in front of them, and that's Tony Harrison and what he's doing, and they think he's landing the shots and winning the rounds. And I would tend to agree with that last round, especially just, if not nothing else, that's big right hand he landed. Now, that being said, I got Harrison ahead right now.
See, the fact that Charlo's against the ropes, he's got to do a lot of work to catch Harrison, because Harrison has all that room behind him to move back. So anytime Charlo tries to mount an attack, he's got all the room to move back. He needs to turn Harrison around and not allow him to move back and put him against the ropes.
Good 3-punch combination there by Tony Harrison. Doubling up on the jab, following with the right hand. Those landed. These are all close rounds. Reasonably close. Again, it's not a perfect science scoring a 10-9 round. We're going to stick around right here, keep it here on Fox. We're going to go into the corner of Jermell Charlo as we end this round. Derek James is in the corner for Jermell Charlo. Let's hear what they are saying if they feel they're winning these rounds.
Do not open up. When you shoot that jab, look for the right hand, because he's shooting the right hand over the top. Continue to stay composed. Do not listen. And make sure you keep the left hand up higher. Left hand up higher. Left hand up higher. Keep popping the jab and stepping over. Look for the hook. Look for the body shot. You got to get busy. What round is this? What round is this?
What's that?
What round is this?
I can't hear you.
What round is this? Listen.
Good?
Good. Listen. Start. Your condition, okay, right? Start shooting hooks for the body shot. Shoot the shot over, double the jab, and make it dip to the right hand. I need you to keep stepping over to the right. Not try, do it. And you can hold in the distance like you're doing. I like the distance you can control.
Joe Goosen, your thoughts there?
Well, it's pretty hard. The microphone really wasn't situated well there, but you can tell by the body language there's a little bit of concern in that corner right now. And there's only 3 rounds left. We've got 10, 11, and 12. And Charlo, I think, if I were in that corner, I'd be telling him, you better have 3 big rounds here, minimum, or hurt this guy bad.
Charlo's picking up the pace now, Joe. Coming at it here, round 10. What we call the championship rounds. Jermell Charlo could feel it slipping away from him. It's very possible Harrison has put a bunch of rounds in the bank. He has been feeling it. He's been accurate throughout the fight, showing off that jab. Charlo has the knockdown now, so that is a 10-8 round back in round 2. Slight advantage in punches landed for Jermell Charlo.
Yeah, but round 2 seemed like a million years ago right now. You know?
Good popping jab by Harrison. However, it's an extra point.
Yeah,
that's what it comes down to, the points. They file it in round by round, and that's it.
I'm just being a little snarky. Sorry.
No, I know, you've been like that all week. I plead guilty to that too, Joe. No disrespect. Little dance there by the champ. Will he be the champ at the end of the night? Marcos Villegas gave that 9th round to Tony Harrison. It was in the late rounds a year ago in Brooklyn where Charlo really upped the ante and put his foot on the accelerator, and that led to many people feeling that Charlo had won that fight going away. A little admonishment there by Jack Reese, who's done a very good job tonight.
Yeah, there was a punch that strayed low, but Jack Reese explained to Charlo the reason that, or to Harrison, the reason that hit you low is because you pulled Charlo's head down.
And something we often, Joe, you said it earlier in the night, if you're saying the referee's name around round 10, the referee's doing a good job.
Right, exactly. No, Jack Reese. I tell you, this California Commission, the referees are great. Jack Reese is an old veteran. I don't mean old, but he's an experienced veteran and one of the best in the country, if not the world.
Experience vitally important in that job. Another jab lands by Harrison, and that three-punch combination that was just thrown by Charlo, all of those missing, including the one on his hip. That is not a scoring area.
I know, but he's doing the right thing by doing a double jab in there, and you know that's allowing him to get closer to Harrison so he can throw that right hand. But he's got to throw not only the right hand but the left hook as well, because that was what hurt Harrison in the second round. So he's got to go to that again.
Final 30 seconds, and we're talking a lot about the judging in this fight because that's what it is likely to come down to. How about this note from CompuBox? These two have been within 2 punches landed of each other in 7 of the 9 rounds. So again, not all punches are created equally. Certainly we thought Harrison was winning some rounds just the way he was landing there, and he's landing again with the right hand. But the bottom line is, a judge is looking at this round by round, and it could be extremely close.
Yeah, in the last 20 seconds, he landed 3 great right hands.
And that's
Final seconds of the 10th round. It's been outstanding so far. This has been a good World Championship fight so far. The knockdown in round 2, the hook coming from Jermell Charlo. But Tony Harrison has done some outstanding work as well. And to how close this is, it's now 8 of 10 rounds where these two have been within 2 punches landed of each other, according to CompuBox. Round 11, the championship 12, Charlo able to back Harrison up. Harrison says, come on, man, I'm fine.
Why does Charlo stop there? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
The third time.
Yeah, he needs to, as soon as he does anything like that, just jump on him.
I've seen guys get whacked doing that, seriously.
Body shot there by Charlo. I mean, Harrison is just, he's so experienced. He is able to feel it. He's confident. He's able to step back and know that, hey man, I'm all right. And he can sense that Charlo can't get at him. Moving his head nicely. And he just sensed a break in the action. He could smell it that Charlo had thrown his combination and now needed the second off.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Charlo's just throwing the combinations when he should be throwing the combinations and placing them. You know, being accurate with his punches and not trying to hit his arms, trying to get around his arms, trying not to hit his elbows, trying to hit his stomach.
Punches landed, according to CompuBox, extremely close. Now Harrison takes the lead, but just by 2 punches. And again, it is scored round by round.
Oh!
Harrison is hurt. Harrison's down. Second knockdown of the fight.
6, 7, 8. You okay? Walk over there and come back to me. Come here, right now. Come here.
Jack Reese says, take a step toward me, or he could stop this.
Over a minute left.
Harrison hurt again by the hook. Harrison could go down again. The ropes are keeping him up.
Over.
Now he's wobbled. And down he goes. Third knockdown of the fight. Jack Reese is counting, so it's still on. Charlo is celebrating.
7.
He should not be celebrating.
Walk over there and come
This
The
fight's still
commissioner
on.
should not be in the ring.
Come here.
Charlo's celebrating. He hasn't looked back. It's not over. Someone's got to tell Charlo it's not over yet.
Well, he's got 50 seconds left.
Harrison is badly hurt. You can tell he's wobbled. Jack Reese is very close to stopping this fight.
You better believe it.
His head is wobbling back and forth. Charlo can get his title back, but he hasn't done it yet. Jack Reese is looking close. Jack Reese has ended it. Jermell Charlo is the champion of the world again. Harrison is protesting, but he was wobbled several times after that second knockdown.
Let me tell you, it's all down to 1 punch, and Charlo was there. It was always looking dangerous. That's why you can't be fooling around in this fight. In a fight, you got to be serious all the way through because these things can happen.
An emphatic statement by Charlo, who could have been down by points. You can see the resolve in him. His brother comes in, Jermell, to celebrate with him. That was a very tough fight, and I tell you what, he was celebrating. A member of the commission got in and said, the fight's still on, get back in there.
No, he thought the fight was over. Everybody thought the fight was
Jack
over.
Reese was counting.
No,
if he had turned around
I
and
didn't
looked,
think
Jack
the
Reese
fight
was
was
counting.
over. And
No, but I'm
anybody
saying
that
he
was
thought it was over.
But I'm just saying that the inspector jumped the gun. He should have stayed outside the ropes no matter what. Charlo was just celebrating whether the fight was being stopped or there was a count going on. He can turn his back. There's no law against him turning his back to the referee.
I just thought it wasn't
count.
to his advantage if he thought, hey, adrenaline, suddenly drains.
I'm just saying there's no reason for anybody else to run into that ring during the count.
Jack Reese was doing his job, counting. He gave Harrison every opportunity. But let me ask you, Lennox Lewis, do you agree? There he is celebrating. We can take a look at this first. As he goes up, and he's celebrating up on the top rope. But that fight is not over.
Okay, that's fine. And he'll eventually find out from the referee the fight ain't over.
Yeah, there should be nobody in there.
That's right.
At that point. All right, let me ask you. The final stoppage. Lennox, do you agree or disagree?
Well, it's funny because, although Harrison looked like he was out on the feet, but mentally he felt okay, but his equilibrium was gone. And, it's up to the referee's discretion. And if the referee felt that the fight should have been stopped, then at that point it should have been stopped, because you never know what could happen afterwards. He could say, come and fight, and then all of a sudden the worst knockout in the world could happen.
His head was snapping to and fro. When your head is on a swivel like that, you could get hurt. Joe Goossen, all night, we have faced this a bunch of times, and you have been in favor. You've been in favor of letting the fight go. Do you agree that should keep going, or did you like the stoppage?
That's a tough call right there. I would probably say this: had Charlo not turned his back on Harrison when he hurt him first over there, he could have ended it right then and there.
Now they're coming over. Charlo's coming over to Harrison. Let's see what happens here.
His better angels came out. He shook his hand, so that's good. That's good. But guess what? I can't see any reason why they couldn't do this one more time, to tell you the truth.
That was an outstanding fight. No, I agree.
Get
the wrap off. Get the wrap off. By the way, 2 of the 3 judges had Jermell Charlo ahead. It was 94-95 and then 96-93 twice. So that's the way the judges had it. They had Charlo ahead, and that's before these knockdowns.
And here we're going to look at the replay and look at the first knockdown. And Charlo, it was that left hook again. Just when you think, you have your right hand up, it gets through and it touches you on the chin. It touched him on the chin and he went down.
Yeah, and that hook went inside of his right hand. Here's the second knockdown. They both leaned in, and bam, Charlo threw that left hook. Right hand, left uppercut didn't land cleanly, but buckled him right there. That landed cleanly. 2 in a row, 3 in a row. 4, 5. That was there's where Charlo went to go celebrate.
And that was the second knockdown. And here's the end of the fight. This is where the referee came over, and Charlo had Harrison up against the rope, showing some good shots. Harrison seemed like he was coherent to a point, but the referee didn't want to see any more and stopped the fight.
Look. Harrison had been down twice, so Jack Reese is looking at it with that in mind, that this guy's been down twice in this round, and then he looks, and as his head is snapping back and forth.
That's right.
Yeah, he's fully within his rights to end that fight.
And plus, Harrison wasn't looking at Charlo. He lost his visual point of view where Charlo was. So any shot that Charlo was going to throw that was going to be a heavy punch, he was going to get knocked out from that. Or hurt badly.
Harrison, of course, protested afterwards. He's very game, but he needed a few seconds just to gather his senses and get it back. But the stoppage was made by Jack Reese. Perhaps someone will see it as controversial, but there were a number of knockdowns, including 2 in that round before the stoppage was made. Let's go to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 2 minutes, 28 seconds in round number 11. Our referee in charge, Jack Reese, stops the contest. He is the winner by way of knockout. He is the new and now the 2-time WBC Super Welterweight Champion of the World, Jermell Iron Man Charlo.
Vindication for Jermell Charlo. He was tested mightily on this night. It was tactical, it was excellent, it was exciting. We go to the punches landed by CompuBox. Charlo with the slight advantage. Again, at one point, 8 of the 10 rounds were decided by 2 punches landed. That's extraordinary. Power punches. Charlo with the advantage. And again, the judges had Charlo ahead. We didn't know if that was going to be the case. Harrison did his share in this fight too.
Yeah, it was a close call. It was a close fight, and we're gonna get to Heidi right now. Let's see what Heidi says with Jermell.
Thank you very much. Well, I know you missed that thing on your shoulder, but boy, did you get it back tonight, and did you get it back the way you said you were gonna get it back? I have to ask you though, you got up on the ropes before the fight was over. You thought it was over. Who told you? Did you see the ref, or was it Lennox who was actually waving you back to tell you to get back? The action's still underway.
That's the second time that happened to me in my career. I thought it was over. I ain't no referee though, so it should have been over on that first knockdown. But hey, I got that belt back. It took me a while. I got it out in the 11th, but I didn't leave it up to the judges.
You most definitely did not do that tonight. I have to ask you, you said you were going to come in with more punching power. We saw you come out aggressive, but he was able to put you against the ropes a lot in this fight. What was happening there? And
Hey, Tony's he was a former champion, and he come to fight. He had a lot on the line. He had pressure on him. I did what I had to do. I went in there, I dictated, I dominated, and I knocked him out.
you most definitely did. In terms of that first knockdown, how much confidence did that give you in this fight, in the second round, the first one?
It let him know and me know that the power real. Better avoid it or respect it, or they gonna check it.
What did Derek just say to you?
I don't even hear no, but
Good boxing match. This is what it's about, boxing. It's a good boxing match.
shout out to my manager for being able to put me back in this thing right away. Shout out to Fox for being the network to showcase this talent. And 2020 finna be real. 2020 finna get live, baby, yeah.
I have to ask you, because there was so much animosity between the two of you. I saw you guys have words after this fight. What was said, and is this water under the bridge now?
Well, listen, I'm a gentleman at the end of the day. I got a family to feed, and so do he. And he got in there to do what he had to do, and I did what I had to do. I made it victorious, made the best man win. So I showed my respect as good sportsmanship. But at the end of the day, I don't like the dude, period.
Would you fight him again ever?
Yeah, we'll get it in. It don't matter. But I'm up to bigger and better things.
All right, next year, we've got a big fight coming up in January. J-Rock will look to defend his titles. We haven't had an undisputed champion in this division since 2004. The last one to do it was Winky Wright. Before that, it goes back to 1975. Would you like that fight, that winner, next?
We're the history-making twins, and I'm down for whatever make history. We did what we had to do. Finna enjoy this Christmas with my family. I'm gonna sit back and we finna celebrate and have a good time. He held the title too long. I had to come back and get it.
Congratulations on a great win for you here tonight. Let's head over to Tony Harrison. Tony, I see that look of disappointment on your face. I know you came here to do business. You came out and put on a great performance. Ultimately, at the end of the day, do you feel like this was stopped too quickly?
Jack is the championship referee. I ain't gonna question whatever he saw. He was the better man. I started getting a little lax and got caught hooking in between hooks. He earned it. I ain't shit. I hate it. He earned it.
A really humble Tony Harrison. Your father told me throughout this camp you've become more humble since becoming a champion and now losing your belt. I see that in you. A lot of sacrifice. You went down to St. Pete. You worked really hard for this. How was this camp different for you, and what was the game plan coming in here tonight?
I mean, the game plan was to do a little bit of boxing, but being off a year, the shots he was hitting me with, it wasn't even like they was hurting. It just like my body just taking that year off. My body was just like, you know what I'm saying, what's going on right now? You know what I mean? It was just, it wasn't, like I said, he had no excuses. He earned it. He hit me in between shots. He earned it. I felt like I was doing good. I felt like I was dogging the guy that's supposed to be the dog. Got caught slipping though in between, you know what I mean? Like one thing I always say is I never trade offense for defense. That's what I did. He called me. And
water under the bridge?
No, it ain't water under the bridge, man. I would love to do it one more time, man. And, you know, Detroit, we need that bad. You know what I mean? And
I feel like I let us down. I feel like I let me down. Damn.
Tony, you were the champion. It's okay. You put on an amazing performance tonight. What's next for you?
I mean, I thank Al. I thank Fox. It's 1-1. Hopefully we do it again. I got to go back to the drawing board, tighten a couple things up, man.
Like what?
Oh, man.
Really don't trade offense for defense. He just caught me in between. I feel like I was doing good. I feel like I was, coasting. You know what I mean? The only time I feel like I was getting caught is when I was getting a little too lax. Got a little too lax, got hit. Jack did what he thought was best for me. This is what it is. Back to the drawing board.
Back to the drawing board. We appreciate you, and now we'll send it back to Brian.
Heidi, thank you. I tell you what, for Harrison, it was an outstanding boxing performance. But Jermell Charlo, trial by fire, gets the stoppage. 2 knockdowns in the 11th. When he didn't know he was leading on the scorecards, couldn't know that. But again, the knockdown in the second, you could see it in his eyes. When he smelled it, putting Harrison down the first time around. Second knockdown again, emphatic from Charlo, showing the championship pedigree. Hey, a third time would not be bad, although Charlo says, hey, maybe bigger and better things are in my future. Big night here in Ontario, California. Jack Reese finally calls the halt in the 11th round. Jermell Charlo is the world champion once again. One year ago in Brooklyn, this was the scene, the stunning upset. Tony Harrison was the world champion at 154 pounds, getting the unexpected decision. Jermell Charlo bitterly disappointed, his first professional loss. Very different story tonight in what was, let's face it, a better fight. Harrison brought it, boxed beautifully at times, but in the end, Jermell Charlo with so much power, a knockdown in round 2, multiple knockdowns in the 11th, and it is finally stopped, and Jermell Charlo is the WBC title holder at super welterweight once again. There was celebration, there was some controversy. Harrison protested, but showed good sportsmanship and good respect for the referee, Jack Reese, who ended the fight. Back here ringside with Lennox Lewis.